A major holdout state finally gives in and switches to online campground reservations. A major manufacturer is responding to overpriced RVs by releasing a cheaper model. Two big RV shows are canceled, truck recalls, some drama with the EPA over popular water filters, and more. It's time for the latest in RV and camping news. Hi friends, I'm Jason Epperson. Welcome to RV Miles and this week's RV and camping news roundup. I took the week off last week, and of course that means there is a ton to get to. So let's dive right in to some rapid fire news. We begin with the two hurricanes that have hit the U.S. in the last 2 weeks. Hillary degraded to a tropical storm before it hit Southern California, but still it was the first tropical storm to hit California in 84 years. So naturally, a whole lot of people were concerned about what it would do, especially those living in less robust abodes like RVs. Thankfully, the damage wasn't too bad. RV parks and campgrounds seem to have fared pretty well, according to Woodall's Campground magazine, who spoke with several park owners. The most damage seemed to be minor flooding and downed limbs. But on the Gulf Coast, it might be a different story. It's still too soon to entirely assess the damage after Tropical Storm Idalia exited the Carolinas after making landfall in northwestern Florida. But there too, campgrounds seem to be mostly unscathed, according to the Florida and Alabama RV Park and Campground Association. The storm was milder than it could have been, but there is still a lot of power out. The Charlotte and Atlanta motor speedways opened their gates for RVers evacuating that needed a place to stay. We'll keep an eye out for reports of significant damage to campgrounds or national and state park sites in the coming days. Speaking of state parks, Nevada is set to transition from its traditional first-come, first-served state park campgrounds to an online reservation system with a pilot program that begins September 1st at select parks. Remaining campgrounds will come online by the end of the year. Reservations will be hit with a service fee of up to $5 per transaction, but it might be advisable as Nevada's busiest parks already tend to fill up quickly without reservations. When states implement camping reservations, parks usually become much more popular. Nevada was one of the few remaining states without a reservation system, though some states do keep back a certain number of sites for first-come, first-served travelers. In Nevada's new system, online camping reservations must be made at least 3 days in advance. That's a bit of an outdated methodology, with most reservation systems able to handle bookings up to the moment you arrive nowadays. However, any unreserved sites will still be available for spontaneous campers on a first-come, first-served basis. Sites will open up for booking 11 months ahead at 8 a.m. Pacific. New York is trying to curtail a problem with people overstaying the state's 2-week stay limit at state park campgrounds, according to an article in the Adirondack Explorer. Campers have been using different email addresses or having family members add to the 2-week stays in order to keep it going. So what's the solution? Well, one experiment is apparently to just let them. At Rollins Pond Campground in Adirondack Park, there have been instances where campers have occupied the same site for up to 6 weeks. In response, the Department of Environmental Conservation is considering introducing a longer-term camping permit to alleviate the situation. Good job, New York. Sounds like you've solved the problem somehow. It's no secret that the RV industry is struggling this year, and one of the big problems is that MSRPs have gone way too high. So we're seeing a lot of the fun gadgets and upgrades being removed this fall from lots of lines in order to try to curtail that a bit. Winnebago has gone a step further by building a full new entry-level line of trailers, something it has never done before. And we can argue about what entry-level actually means, but Winnebago has never competed at the lower price points on standard travel trailers. The Access line begins at $29,600 and is fairly bare bones, but it still seems a bit quality. It does include power stabilizing jacks, tank heaters, and a 200-watt solar panel. It also has a 2-inch receiver hitch built in for bikes or gear on the back. There are currently 4 floor plans, though most of the details of each are not available yet. The Access line will debut at the Hershey RV Show in a couple of weeks. And speaking of RV shows, we've shared a couple of times about the California RV Show that was set to make its triumphant return to the Pomona Fairplex this fall. First it was announced, then the dates changed, and now apparently it's postponed. We haven't been able to get full confirmation, but the website has been wiped clean and now just says coming soon. In addition, the Portland RV and Van Show that was set for September 14th has been canceled. I'm told it may have to do with a major dealer pulling out, but again, I don't know all the details. So much more in a moment, but first, this video is sponsored by RVmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding. Did you know that most mattresses that come with your RV are just a placeholder? The manufacturers know this. It costs them like $2 to put them in. In most RVs, they are just meant to show you what a bed looks like. Don't sleep on them. We've been using mattresses by Brooklyn Bedding in our last two RVs. Couldn't be happier. You can choose your thickness and all sorts of different odd RV mattress sizes, and that customization was essential for clearing the bedroom slide in our fifth wheel and for the kids' bunks in the new travel trailer. We're sleeping great on real mattresses from a real mattress company in our RV. RVmattress.com offers a 120-night sleep trial along with a 10-year warranty. Plus, their products are entirely toxin-free and simple to ship and set up. We've even had them shipped to campgrounds, and you just unroll them and let them expand. The RV Miles community gets 25% off when you visit rvmattress.com/RVMiles and use the promo code RVMiles. That's rvmattress.com/RVMiles with promo code RVMiles for 25% off. Our thanks to rvmattress.com for supporting this channel and to you for supporting our sponsors. Lippert has unveiled its next-generation hydraulic leveling system for fifth wheels and motorhomes. Lippert is the biggest supplier in the RV industry. They make the chassis for most travel trailers and fifth wheels. Their first automatic hydraulic leveling system, Level Up, was introduced in 2009, and since it's been installed on over 100,000 RVs. Base Camp boasts a modernized leveling cylinder, a restructured foot pad, and a touchscreen interface that predicts user actions. They say the system will simplify troubleshooting with on-screen guidance that eliminates the need for trying to find the manual. It should also install easier, reducing weight and the complexity in the manufacturing process. An optional feature includes LED lighting at the base of the jacks. In truck news, late model Ford F-150 pickup trucks and Expedition SUVs have been experiencing an issue where loud static noise, termed as the sonic boom by owners, is emitted through the speakers. The ear-piercing problem has been reported in 21 to 23 model year vehicles, including the Lightning EV pickup. Ford has identified the defect as being related to the power amplifier in the vehicle's sound systems and is offering a software fix. Despite the loudness of the static, reaching up to 109 decibels, which is about as loud as a chainsaw, Ford has not issued an official recall. More significantly, Ford is recalling nearly 42,000 Super Duty trucks because a left rear axle shaft might break, which of course would increase the risk of a crash. The recall covers certain 2023 F-250 and F-350 vehicles with single rear wheels and a 10.5-inch rear axle shaft, which may have been improperly heat treated during manufacturing. Ford will mail notification letters to owners by October 16th, and customers can bring their vehicles to Ford dealerships where they will inspect and replace the axle shaft as necessary. Starlink satellite internet has for a while now placed a limit on in-motion use of its satellite internet service, using it on the road in its terms of service, but it's not been actually enforced. Well, according to our friends over at the Mobile Internet Resource Center, beginning October 1st, you will not be able to use Starlink at speeds over 10 miles an hour unless you have the priority mobile data plan. That's bad news for folks who bought the high-performance in-motion dish for a whopping $2,500. The good news is that folks on the expensive priority data plan will still get to use in-motion service when the priority data runs out. Why the 10-mile-per-hour limit? Well, it allows boats to still use it, at least boats that aren't out at sea, which still require an upgraded plan. All the details are in a video from the Mobile Internet Resource Center, which I'll link to in the description. Berkey water filters, a brand long popular with RVers who are looking to get some better drinking water on the road with various water sources available, are suing the EPA for classifying their filters as a pesticide. Apparently, the EPA has never sought to force registration of mechanical type water filters as pesticides until last year, when they decided to start regulating Berkey's water filters specifically without warning. Berkey says their filters have never harmed anyone, and there was no notice or opportunity to discuss the issue. Apparently, the problem stems from the use of silver, which besides being a common metal, is a registered pesticide. It's in the filter media itself and protects the filter from biological grow-through, a common problem with water filters. Berkey filters are being prevented from being sold in some places where vendors have received stop sale orders. All that said, Berkey filters have actually never been certified by NSF, who certifies all sorts of devices like hoses and filters as drinking water safe. Berkey has long said that the cost is too prohibitive and the testing is meaningless compared to their in-house, more rigorous testing. But that argument has never held water for me, no pun intended, since new filters that are NSF certified come to the market all the time, even boutique inline RV hose filters. You also won't find Berkey filters for sale in some states, even before this EPA fiasco. Iowa, for instance, requires companies to prove their purification claims, and Berkey hasn't been able to do that. If you're looking for a place to camp and see the October 14th solar eclipse, you might want to get moving. If you plan to be in the Pacific Northwest, you might want to check out Eclipse Fest 23, which will transform a 175-acre field for 5 days into a massive campground right on the optimal viewing path. It's put together by RVers and it's hosted by brands like Battleborn Batteries, Open Roads Fuel Program, and Harvest Hosts. It takes place near Crater Lake National Park, October 10th through the 15th, and features entertainment headlined by 90s band Smash Mouth. I'm sure we'll get to see the eclipse while we here Walking on the Sun. RV and tent dry camping spaces start at $160 at eclipsefest23.com, and the next eclipse coming in April is going to be even bigger, so make sure to be booking in advance if you plan on camping during these eclipse weekends. Finally, it's Labor Day weekend, and of the 95 million leisure travelers in the U.S. planning to travel over this weekend, 16 million intend to do so in an RV, according to a recent survey conducted by Cairn Consulting for the RV Industry Association. That's a significant increase over the 12 million who are estimated to have RV'd during Memorial Day weekend. AAA says that booking data for flights, hotels, rental cars, and cruises shows Labor Day weekend travel is up over last year. Domestic bookings are up 4% and international bookings are up 44%. That's obviously a post-COVID effect. Drivers taking road trips this weekend are seeing gas prices similar to last year. The national average for a gallon of gas was $3.78 on Labor Day of 2022. This summer, gas prices spiked in July because of a tight supply and the high cost of oil. The month of August has brought some relief, and now we're rising again and pretty much exactly back to where we were at this point last year. I've intentionally left out a whole lot of RV industry sales data and other RV market related stuff out of this episode because I'll be back on Wednesday with a full sort of RV industry report card to help you make buying and selling decisions. If you're last minute deciding on a trip through the Midwest, we hope to see you at our homecoming rally in the quaint historic town of Amana, Iowa, October 4th through the 8th. We have just a handful of sites left. The link is in the description. This week on the RV Miles podcast, we're talking more in depth about that influx of expensive RV mega resorts. Check it out here, and make sure to hit the like button if you got something out of this video, sub for more, and comment below with your thoughts on this week's stories. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.